Hi, Pete Winarski here. Let me tell you a few points about me as a speaker. I've worked with industry leaders like Hasbro and 3M. I've shared the stage with greats like Jack Canfield and Lou Holtz. I've had audiences as small as a few people in a workshop all the way up to hundreds. Imagine the best possible experience that you can have working with a speaker. I promise you, I will be that speaker for you. My team is super capable, we work out all the details and make every step of the process easy for you. I work with you before, during, and after your event. Before the event, I make sure I know your hot points. I get to know you. I customize the keynote for you. During the event, my style is engaging and dynamic, and we have a lot of fun. I make sure that your audience has fun, learns, laughs, and leaves inspired. And lastly, after the event, we can set up Q&A calls or webinars, whatever it takes to maximize your results. So hang out and watch these clips, and I'll catch up to you in a few minutes. You cannot be effective leading others if you're not first effective leading yourself. A few more yeses. Raise your hand if you've read that book. If you didn't raise your hand, what are you waiting for? Opportunity knocks at the door. Don't be surprised if when you open the door, work is standing there. Whoa. You gotta sometimes do something, right? We talked about that a little while ago. Yeah. Now there's an opportunity. There's not a whole lot of work to run up here and tackle me. Good job. And this is where perfection, throw it right out the window because it doesn't matter. Muscle memory. Celebration helps you build muscle memory. How many of you have ever learned a new skill or a new sport? Tennis. How many of you ever learned tennis? When you hit the ball the first time, where did it go? Right. But over and over again. Boom. Forehand. Boom. Forehand. Boom. Right? Backhand. Go turn the hand a little bit, right? Boom. Backhand. Same spot every time. Boom. Muscle memory. Boom. Then when you're in a game and someone hits you the ball and you got to run over here and then you backhand it, you can hit it. And it goes somewhere close to where you wanted it to because of muscle memory. The logbook was working. And I started to think about it a little bit later. If the logbook works for achieving a goal like running a marathon, for a guy who was running maybe 3 miles at a time at that point, would it work for everything else that I had as goals? So, it's not impossible. I actually have someone I know who was laid off and 2 days later was telling me, I got this call. And they actually said, it's not supposed to be that easy. They weren't sure they should take it. What are you doing? Well, then there's another study where people who have goals that are not written down, that's the baseline, when they write them down, they perform 42% better. 77% better performance. This is the best performance gain that I'm aware of when you share your commitments and your progress. This is why we do progress reviews. Now, the super successful people, do they have more time than you? Yes. Who said yes? They do in their minds. And if they do in your mind, you're in trouble. Because the reality is, we all have the same amount of time. It's really just a matter of how we choose. It's the decisions we make and the actions we take. How do we choose to spend our time? So prioritizing to the highest leverage things isn't that hard. And how many of you have seen the movie The Incredibles? You know, the cartoon movie The Incredibles? Remember the bad guy? What was the bad guy's name? Syndrome. Syndrome, the bad guy, was not born with any superpowers. But Syndrome, the bad guy, created this glove that had all these cool buttons on it. There was, he had lured Mr. Incredible, the superhero. to his secret island, and they were doing this fight, and he took his glove and goes, bzzz, picks Mr. Incredible up and slams him against the stone wall. And he says, 0-point technology. Pretty cool, huh? Hollywood knows about the 0-point field. Maybe you haven't heard of it yet. Maybe you should watch The Incredibles. It's one thing writing down in the privacy of your own mind, in your private desk where no one can see. Don't look. I'm writing them down. I'm writing down my steps, and I don't share them. Performance does go up a little bit. But when I then share them, now what? For all of you business leaders who have teams and have people who report to you, what do we want them to do? Show me your action plan. You're doing this reprogramming in your unconscious mind so that you're allowing things to come in, and boom, the light bulb goes off, right? We all know about the light bulb moment. Yes? Who's had the $1 million idea? Who followed up on it? That's this part. Inspired actions are, this is the missing link. This is the thing that accelerates you further, faster than anything else. Now, if I'm going into a meeting with someone where there's a result that we want to get out of that meeting, have clarity in your mind ahead of time. So if you're about to go meet with a customer, what's your intention for that meeting? What's the result that you want to come from that meeting? Have that clear in your mind before you go into it. Sharing knowledge is important, but applying that knowledge is everything. That's how you get the results. Let me tell you how I help you to get those results. First, everything about the presentation is dynamic and engaging, which means it's fun, which means that you'll learn more and retain more. Remember, I work to figure out what your hot points are ahead of time and customize the keynote so that things I talk about are relevant to you. Afterwards, Q&A calls, webinars, whatever it takes, I want to make sure that we follow up and help your team lock in the principles so that they can apply them. Everything's going to be fun. Your team will talk about this event for months. Let's figure out how to work together. Contact me. Here's how.
I have some big challenges ahead this coming year, big goals and projects, and after attending today's session with Pete, I know that I'm going to have the best year ever.
I came to this session today because I want to double my business this year, and this was a fantastic day. I was so happy to be here because I got a lot of clarity around what specifically I need to do, what the action steps are, and how to take myself out of the overwhelm piece of it down to the bit-by-bit pieces of exactly what to do.
I came up today for this training, the best year ever. It was fabulous. I really enjoyed it. Pete is just enjoyable to be with. I've done a lot of personal development work, and I just really enjoyed today's workshop. It was informative. Pete presented just like in his book, which is excellent. I was drawn here by his book, and it was. He takes the principles, many principles of success, and boils them down in a really intelligent, well put together way. And we went through those principles in this workshop in a very systematic and practical way. I created a 90-day goal, which I am going to jump on. I'm passionate about it. I'm excited. I brought my office manager so he could also work with me on this 90-day goal, which is a business goal. And we're going to really make something happen. I really totally enjoyed the day. I really enjoyed meeting Pete. He's fun. The workshop was interactive. I'm taking home something that I can refer to again and again, and I'm really appreciative. I'm really glad that I came. Thanks.